out there in the crypto world? Today, let's talk a little bit about the dollar. Why cryptocurrency has strengthened as it has. Even though you've seen a recent downturn, cryptocurrency still is one of the best areas in where you can actually gain wealth and not lose value. So for store of value, cryptocurrencies offer more than traditional gold and silver. However, we're not talking about not investing in gold and silver, but what we are talking about is why cryptocurrencies and what's coming on the economic forefront with the dollar. You might want to pay attention to this so you can be prepared. DeFi IoT Latin America. Let's talk. Let's talk a little bit today about why cryptocurrencies and areas of store of wealth, traditional areas of store of wealth, are being sought after. Well, as you can see behind me, it's very basic. This current administration is printing more and more dollars. This current administration just keep producing and flooding in the world dollars with no sense of responsibility. This brings about what's called inflation. I'm going to keep it basic and simple. So this message can be direct, and we hope to help you and awaken something in you. If you haven't already made that move towards hedging your future and your wealth in something that can be a store of wealth, such as traditional silver, gold, Bitcoin, other cryptocurrencies that are out there, rare gems, etc. But the most common and most easily tradable would be your silver, your gold, your Bitcoin, and other strong cryptocurrencies. What are we doing here at DeFi IoT Latin America? Well, we're going to get to that in a minute. What I want to talk about is what's going on right now in the United States of America and in other parts of the world. The dollar is in danger of collapse. And that's just not me giving you my opinion. This is something that it's not it's if, it's when. The Fidel report showed back in October, if I'm not mistaken, that in 3 to 5 years, the U.S. is planning a desire to actually move from paper currency to digital currency. The Federal Reserve, there's a move right now to make the Federal Reserve a central bank in the United States of America. This would then centralize everything in the financial and put more power under this administration and this party than they already have. I'm not here to bag on parties or administrations. I'm here to talk about the reality that the dollar is going to collapse. When? I can't tell you that. It's going to be replaced. Fiat currency in the world right now is being replaced. China, going in the first quarter of next year, already has planned to change to a digital-only currency. We talked a little bit about that in our video. We're talking about the metaverse, what that means. What are we going to spend? How are we going to spend? We're already being conditioned for that. I know back when I was in my hometown visiting recently, I wanted to go to Walmart, and I was in Walmart. And Walmart, if I wanted to pay cash, would tell me that I had to go stand in line and wait to pay cash. I was like penalized for it. But if I wanted to pay on a card, a digital card, I could go through the quick check, the automated, computers there, and I could do my own checkout. They kept saying the excuse was they didn't have any coins. And I went someplace else and said, well, there's coin shortage. So, if you don't have, if you need to pay cash, we can't accept your cash. We can only take cards. I thought to myself, a coin shortage? Well, I traveled all around, go through El Salvador, Ecuador, other countries that use the U.S. dollar. Let me tell you something. There's no coin shortage of U.S. coins in those countries. Not that I can see. Not that anyone was telling me. Everywhere I went, took them. Didn't obligate me to use a digital card. I wanted to go to a football game, my old alma mater. I tried to get in, paying cash. Here's what they told me. Sorry, we don't accept that here. Went to a baseball game. Tried to pay cash. Sorry, we don't accept that here. Venmo or other forms of digital currency was all that was accepted. So where am I going with this? I'm trying to just let people understand that I hope what we're going to do, we are basing our investments in areas of store of value, not in the dollar. Now, the dollar is what we use to spend in the country that we reside in. So we have a certain amount of that on hand in case there's any emergencies. But for the most part, we don't use a dollar. We don't take out our store of value until we actually are ready to use it. So what's that mean? Let's go look at some things real quick here on the screen. We have inflation. You keep printing this money like behind me. You just keep making it. Remember, we don't have the gold standard in 1973. So before, let me give you a brief history. Before a currency had a standard behind it, like a silver or gold standard, you took a note, and that note had a value of a percentage of an ounce that you could redeem at a bank or your government, and then the banking and so forth. So you could take that note in, and that was a redeemable note for whatever you wanted in gold or silver or whatever country you're in. Then in the early 70s, 71, 73, we finalized the whole idea of a backing on the US dollar, and the US dollar became this international currency, right? So they could actually be supported and used internationally and kind of sustain the international economies, having one currency which to base all their currencies off of. Okay, so keeping it brief. So that's held the dollar up, basically, because nobody had a choice. And I tell you what, China hasn't liked that. China used to be the currency. They started the whole idea of currencies, and they were the currency that actually everybody measured off of. Well, there's always been that battle for China to be back in first place. And we see that taking place today. So we have the printing. U.S. reports say that inflation's at 5%. Let's go look at the screen here. Say, Americans grow pessimistic on the economy as high inflation lingers. Inflation continues. We've all seen wages are becoming outrageous. Not just a minimum wage increase, but people, I see signs when I drove through Florida, for example, and even in my home state where I used to reside, where they were paying double and more than double than a minimum wage for basic job, like servers at tables and restaurants. No, I'm not bagging on servers at tables and restaurants. I did that for TGI Friday for a while, but it's a good experience. Helped me with my social skills. But let me tell you something. That caused a price increase. They say 5%. I don't think that's true. I feel our studies show it's closer to 10% inflation annually. Now, that is a basic inflation. You keep printing, you keep approving these trillions of dollars of bills that's recently approved by this administration. There is going to be a collapse. If the Federal Reserve stops printing, Wall Street will fall. So they know now, and we saw a recent scandal to cover up where CNN was colluding with the Biden administration to actually falsify the actual economy in the United States of America and buoy up that economy and buoy up this administration. I'm not here to bag on either one. I'm just here to tell the truth. And if you don't believe me, go out and look for yourself. Remember, I and we here at DeFi IoT Latin America are not financial advisors. We are here for educational purpose only and a little bit of entertainment. So do your own research on this, please. I'll show you a few sites you can go to now. However, what is our point in this? When this whole transition takes place and the whole idea of this economy recovering and then lockdowns and then more injections, more boosters, etc. It just keeps rolling on and on. People say, well, it's going to pass. Once we get the whole vaccination against the whole CCP virus, then we'll back to normal. Well, normal is not going to come. We need to face a reality. The metaverse, as we did a video on earlier, that metaverse is basically going to replace the reality we once lived in and create a whole new type of reality. And actually, one that has many opportunities in it, but also one that scares me and worries me for my children and my grandchildren. Because in there, they can be taught subliminally and without any effort, whatever the agenda has who's controlling the metaverse. That worries me. There are opportunities there. And here at DeFi IoT Latin America, we're going to talk about that. But let's talk about what we do with our money once we get it so we don't lose value in it. So we also have a shortage of supply and demand. We know, you see all the ships out there around the United States of America and other locations where they can't get in. You don't have the workers back to work. Is it going to end soon? Doesn't look like it. there are signs you can look at, looking at our last video as well, that show you that this is a plan that's going to be around for a while. I'm talking about a while, meaning 2, 3, 4 more years. It's moving well. If you take a look at this book, I don't want to promote this book, but there's a book here that actually really is the proponent of what drives the World Economic Forum and their ideas and the whole deceptive tactics of what they have in mind. So this book here will let you know exactly what the reasoning is and why they think a violent takeover of the economy, especially the U.S. economy, is necessary, and a whole great reset is necessary in order to save the planet. Now, I'm not here to dispute whether we need to better things or not better things, but I will say this. It doesn't have the better in mind for the human race. They don't, outside of that group. So what are you and I going to do about this? Well, we need to protect ourselves. Protect ourselves economically. Protect ourselves spiritually. Protect ourselves in many other different ways. But right now I want to talk about economically. Why then cryptocurrencies? Why gold? Why silver? And this is where we at DeFi IoT Latin America are putting our earnings, our savings, in something that will help maintain the wealth and fight inflation. Go back here. So looking at gold, you can see that we go back to 2012. So we're going to go back 10 years. A good margin always is kind of measured back the last 10 years, where you can see where your store of wealth is going to be. You can historically go back and see gold, and you see this climb, but you can see drops as well. Let's go back 10 years, because I want to compare that to Bitcoin in 10 years as well, and you can see why there's so many people moving now to cryptocurrencies. And keep this in mind, only 5% of the world population, from the last report, the last report I heard, actually own or participate at all in the crypto world. Now, I'm not saying people know of or heard of, but people actively, whether it's a buy passively and hold it, or they're actually involved in mining or whatever, only 5% of the world population. So there's a huge margin of growth in the crypto world. Do people know about gold and silver as store of wealth? Yes, they do. What you're going to have coming on board now is a whole new element of store of wealth. And it's something where you can actually put this into a little cold wallet that looks like a flash drive, and you can hold that. And that's yours. And that's your property, and nobody can take that from you, so long as you put that in off of a platform that's decentralized, and you load it on a decentralized platform when you want to move it. That's a whole nother topic we'll talk about another time. Look at this. Gold, you're basically sitting today at $1,783.64. You've gone up since 2012 from, well, let's just say, let's go back to its dip here, about 1550. But basically about 1,600. So you can see the increase in gold has been steady, but it's been slow, or slow but steady. So you have a store of wealth there. But is the percentage of what you've lost in dollar value maintaining that store of wealth? I'm just going to tell you something what happened with me. I left the last time that I was in my home country was around the same time. I went to Taco Bell. I love Taco Bell. I'm not paid by Taco Bell to do any promoting. We don't get paid by anybody to promote here at DeFi IoT Latin America. Well, I went to Taco Bell, and I could buy for $5 my meal I liked. Okay, I won't go into it what it was. I went back recently. I haven't been back home in a lot of years. I went back recently, a few months ago, and I went to go buy that same meal. That same meal was more than double what it was 10 years ago. So you have about 120% inflation over 10 years. That puts it above 10%. So let's just say that we give or take a little bit and we're at 10% annually. Did gold increase over the last 10 years sufficiently enough in the reality of what that dollar can buy in the same margin? Did it increase 120%? It would have had to increase into the 3,000s. If we were going to go 1,700, would have been 3,400, right? Or if we were say we're at 1,600, $3,200, it would have had to been at to keep that same pace as what I lost in buying power with the dollar. So is gold a good hedge in the last 10 years? Things have changed. Lots of things have changed, and especially since the whole CCP virus shenanigans, and we've been locked down, the whole economy's changed, and the whole idea of changing what's going forward, the Great Reset, okay? Take a look at silver. I don't want to take long on this, I just want to make this point. So we go into silver back in 2002. We'll go all back to 2002, give us a longer history, okay? We go back, let's bring it up here actually to 2010. Silver sitting at about $10. A bit more than that. About $15 2010, you can see here, okay? So we spike and we come. So we're going to look at not just spikes, we're going to look at where we are today as of right now. And right now we are in a bear market for the crypto world. So cryptocurrencies are higher, especially Bitcoin, and boom, it drops. And there's reasons for that we've discussed in the videos. But today we're going to focus on, was silver a good hedge? Well, I'm sitting at $22.45 an ounce. Did it go up 100% since 2010? Well, if you're looking at about $7, that was 100%, and we were sitting at $15 around, give or take there, in 2010, it would have had needed to double and be sitting in the 30 margin. Now, has it hit that margin? Well, it's come closer, you can see. It's hit that, so it's almost doubling. It's silver, actually, then, to me, would be a better store of value than gold right now. And actually, I've read that there actually is less silver mines in the world than there are gold mines. Now, don't quote me on that. I've read that. It was a fairly reliable source, but silver also has very applicable purposes to it. It can be used in computers, technology, and that's where we're going in the future. So for me, what are we doing? It's cheaper, and I see a better store of value in silver than I actually do in gold. Now, you can use gold for a lot of things too. But when we're sitting in a metaverse world, a virtual world, where we aren't going to need to even go out very much anymore, our social world that we once knew will be reduced greatly. So will there be that demand to buy precious metals like gold to have on me to wear? We at DeFi to Latin America think that's going to decrease. Plus, when you're talking about equality and things of that nature, that's going to be a less of a desire for people to want to wear it. And when they want to wear it, if economy is bad, it's going to be more dangerous to even have it on you for theft and purposes like that. I know my mother was in a country visiting one time down here, and she had a gold medallion on. It was a poor country. Economy's not good. Very much politics that we are against here. And I told Mom, don't go out with that on. She didn't walk out and stand on the corner to wave a taxi down from the hotel room before a guy on a bicycle rolled by, ripped it off her neck, gold chain. She had this for years. I remember as a kid, she had this thing. Gold medallion, ripped it off, gone. And the guy went and sold it, came back, drove by, saw her and said, thank you. She was sitting up on a balcony. She cried. She's never been back to one of these countries since. I tried to explain to her, well, you know what? It's not your fault that people are that way, but it is your fault because I warned you here, you don't wear that. Now, she used to have some place you can wear it in America, but now America's getting to the point where, can you still wear it there? Well, certain places you can, but there's certain places now you can't wear that. So to think that gold is going to have that store of value traditionally that it had, I think we need to wake up a little bit. And that's just where we're thinking. Silver has better practical reasons to it. And we are looking more at silver, easier to get into, and we think it has a better store of value to it for the future. Now, let's go look at cryptocurrency real quick. Down to Bitcoin. Let's see. Do I want that one? No, this one. Let's go all the way back to 2000. We'll go back to, this is 2011, right? And then we're going to jump all the way up to 2021 here on this chart here. We can see where Bitcoin was just flat. It was hardly worth anything. Stay flat. Then about 2016, we started to go, had that peak. 2017, we came back down again. Then we hit 2019. Now you can see from 2019, 2020, everything changes. The implementation of the Great Reset is moving forward. The big push to get Trump out of office, all these things are going forward. In the other parties already seeing that this is going to be a success, reverting back now to what we had during the Obama administration And so worldly wise, globally wise, you're going to see this huge support come in, and people are starting to lose confidence in the future. I know I did. I saw it was coming. I lived down here, and I saw the writing on the wall. Here we go. We hit 2019, 2020, boom. September 2020, we start to take off. And we head up to that 60,000 range. Today, we're sitting about 50,000. We've dropped, we've corrected, but our floor now, our bottom now, is about $50,000 per Bitcoin. So where is a better store of value? If you look over the past 10 years, Bitcoin, and I've given this example, had an opportunity to buy land. I'm sorry, sell land for some clients. And in that sale of land, the offer was $500,000 in Bitcoin in March of 2020. This land we've been trying to sell for a long time, trying to liquidate for these clients, an obligation I have with them and helping them out. Now, I rejected that for fear that, what if I lose this money? Well, I didn't understand Bitcoin enough, or I should say, I didn't have enough faith in it yet. I was just getting my feet wet. And from that experience, I have delved head and toe in the crypto market and to understand it better. So what happens? Had I made that transaction, that $500,000 would be worth $5 million today. Did gold, did silver, any other precious metal keep that same pace? It didn't. The increase that I would have had in putting dollars into Bitcoin, even since March of 2020, is phenomenal. So going forward, and now with this, the SEC, the Canadian Stock Exchange, and others now approving certain ways that people can actually invest in Bitcoin through the actual traditional forms of the financial institutions, like buying in types of shares and so forth, and different types of trusts. Greystone, they offer different trusts and so forth. They have crypto portfolios in them. With that going forward, it's telling us, hey, cryptocurrency is here to stay. Regulation is coming down because they don't think it's a game anymore. Actually, they're a little scared of it, so they want to control it. There's downsides for you and I on that, but there are still ways we can still do this. Here at DeFi IoT Latin America, we're going to help you through that. So please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, tell us what you want to know, what concerns you in that. Here's what we have to say. Where are we going with it? Silver and Bitcoin. Now, we invest in other types of alternate coins, right? Altcoins. Anything other than Bitcoin and Ethereum really are considered an altcoin. And there's a lot of good ones out there. Some you can get into now that are just really young and less than even a penny to get involved with. There's others that we are deeply invested in, such as helium. We see a good future for helium. Planet, that's another one too it has good potential right now we're looking at. Those are newer, less established altcoins and projects you can get involved with. That's what we are involved in. And so we're not trying to be giving any type of financial advice here. That's not what we do. We just share our experience. And, I guess just looking at me is a little bit of an entertainment too, because I know that, I got called a clown in social media because I asked a simple question and I thought it was a very intelligent question, but there's a lot of bullies out there, which is sad, right? And so I feel sorry for those people. I really do. However, if they're miserable, that's because they're not listening to our channel. If you listen to our channel, we can help you actually build wealth, build it passively, and store your wealth. What are we doing? Silver and Bitcoin. What do I have more here to show you? Well, let's look at this index of what's projected. We look here, we're at January of 2020. Okay, the index will show us here Bitcoin versus gold versus the Standard & Poor's 500. That's your Standard & Poor's 500, if you don't know, are your blue chip stocks, your traditional strong stocks. So we're going to fight traditional strong stocks, the big daddy of the stock market, against the big daddy of wealth hedging, gold, against the big daddy of cryptocurrencies would be Bitcoin. Look what many professional analysts are projecting for Bitcoin between now and then. And this is January 2021. Okay, this is what they were predicting would take place in a performance that actually took place, and this is what happened. Standard & Poor's, gold, and Bitcoin up 200%. Stock exchange was up around 10%. You had gold just beating the stock exchange, maybe about 30%. And then you had Bitcoin at over 200% since January 2020 to January 2021. Okay. And this is what we saw. You know, we don't always get it right, but we seek to find the truth, and we figured it out. We just want to share with you what we're doing. And we did pretty good this year. We actually were able to sell off a lot of our cryptocurrencies when the market was good. Turn around, we bought more hardware to continue mining cryptocurrencies. So where are we at? We're going to be in, I'm not there yet, but we're going into this, look, starting in January. Silver. What do I do with my silver? That's a good question. That one I haven't figured out yet. When I figure it out, I'll share it with you, because I don't know if I want to have it on me, especially now that I'm telling everybody that, or if I want to have it placed someplace else. And there are places that are of confidence that will hold it for you. But then if I want to get that out and sell that, how liquid is it? How easy is it for me to do it? There are ways you can do that. And I'm going to look into that more and be sharing that with you between here and the first year as we get involved, start buying silver. And we'll even dabble a little bit in gold, but we're going to really be predominantly in Bitcoin and other altcoins such as helium and such as planets. Now, are there other coins you can get involved with that are much cheaper? Helium, we're looking at right now, I think it dropped down to like $3. So it's actually a good buy right now. Cardano, we still feel really good about. It's dropped, lost a lot of value, but there's a lot of potential on it. Cardano recently has done a bridging with Ethereum. So there's a lot of upside to Cardano. But right now, they haven't taken off. Like I said, they're the horse way to get out of the gate. And when they do, you're going to see them bust. We're really strong and bullish on Cardano. We're saying, if you got Cardano, I told my buddy today, don't sell it. Buy more of it. That's what I encourage him to do. We're buying miners, and with those miners, we're going to buy more. Cardano, we'll keep mining helium, storing helium. We have MXC miners, or we have MXC, but we store that because we have to store that. Not really a big pro on their outlook. Planets, mining that now too. There's other things that we can get into with you, and we will as we go forward into 2022. Then we're going to start sharing with you where we're investing, what we're doing to hedge against the dollar. Hey, be careful. The economy is going to change. The economy is not good. We saw then in CNN now starting to correct themselves, and we're starting to see, hey, wait a minute. You know, over 6 out of 10 people interviewed, and these are controlled CNN interviews. 6 out of 10 of those people are not happy with how the economy is and this administration is handling it. And to tell you something, and they're hiding the truth behind it. And that came out recently. And we see that the CEO of the CNN is under fire for that, for collaborating with the administration to falsify really how the U.S. economy was. Let's not get caught in this scandal, in this deceptive movement of politics that's going to affect us personally. Let's prepare for it. I'd much rather be prepared for a crisis and have it not hit than not be prepared for it and have it hit. A DeFi, IoT Latin America, subscribe, stay with us. Help us get those 500 subscribers by the end of the year. We're here for you, and we're sharing what we're doing.